Okay, so maybe you've been told by your teacher that you need to react by staying focused on the question and avoiding narrative or storytelling, and you're sitting there thinking, well, teacher, I do that, but your answer looks something like this. We may have some work to do. Let's have a look. So, were women treated unfairly by the Nazi Party? Women were forced to focus on Kinder, Kitchen, Kirch, children, kitchen and church. They were no longer allowed to be teachers and doctors, and the number of women in universities decreased from 5,000 to around 1,400. Brilliant. Well, I've answered the question, haven't I? I don't understand what the problem is. Well, if you're thinking, I've answered the question, haven't I? Because by putting all that evidence down, I've proved that women weren't given the same opportunities as men, and it's forcing them out of jobs and into motherhood roles in the home, and that was unfair on those who wanted to continue working, then you're right. The unfortunate thing is the examiner does not have the ability to read your mind. So, the key to staying focused on the question and avoiding narrative and storytelling, well, it's simply this. We add what's in your head onto the bottom of your answer. It's really important you fully explain how your evidence, which is wonderful and brilliant and fantastic and could get you an A or an A star, proves your point. And your point in this case, well, you're arguing that women were treated unfairly. So let's just add that to the top as well. Now our answer is really focused on the question. The question was, were women treated unfairly? And here's our answer. Women were treated unfairly by the Nazi Party. Our answer starts off with a clear point linked to the question. Then we have our wonderful evidence that you had before. Women were forced to focus on Kinder, Kitchen, Church, children, kitchen, church. They were no longer allowed to be teachers or doctors. The number of women in universities decreased, blah, blah, blah. However, women were not given the same opportunities as men, and this forced them out of jobs and into motherhood roles, which was unfair on those who wanted to continue working. Here's our link back to the question. We're saying this is the evidence, and this is how it proves our point. It proves it was unfair because they didn't have the same opportunities as men. Thereby, our evidence now fully is focused on the question. We've explained how it's focused on the question to the examiner, and that we're not just storytelling. So the key that your teacher is looking for is what's in your mind. Unfortunately can't be read by the examiner, so you just have to prove that you really are answering the question and staying focused on the question. Whatever you'd say to argue with your teacher as to why your evidence is relevant to the question is all you need to add underneath your wonderful evidence in order to get an A star. Let's have a look at a second example of this. Perhaps you've been asked, were women treated unfairly by the Nazi Party 1933 to 39? And you've said, although they were encouraged to remain at home and have children instead of working, they were awarded bronze, silver and gold cross medals recognising their service to the country as mothers. And you're thinking, teacher, I have answered the question. I'm not storytelling, I'm avoiding narrative. I've given you some fantastic evidence here. Well, the issue here that we need to turn you from that storytelling dragon into an analytical wizard is you've left the information in your head which says how it's focused on the question. So here's what you're thinking. Whilst you're coming up with your evidence and you're thinking, women weren't treated unfairly as their role as a mother was respected in Germany, the same as a man is respected, because although they were encouraged to remain at home and have children instead of working, they were awarded bronze, silver and gold cross medals for this, recognising their service to the country. And well, whilst we're on it, this proves that they were treated unfairly because women were being treated fairly because they were being honoured with medals in the same way men were awarded medals for military service, showing they were valued equally but for different roles and therefore were not being treated unfairly. Then all we've got to do is move that information from your mind where it's obvious to the page where the examiner can read it, because unfortunately the key here to staying focused on the question and avoiding narrative and storytelling is realising that unfortunately the examiner cannot and will not read your mind. And perhaps that's a little bit of a blessing in disguise in case you're thinking, oh good, I know the answer to this one, thank goodness they didn't ask me about the invasion of the Ruhr. So anyway, the key, let's go back to that, is simply stay focused on the question, avoid narrative and storytelling by moving what's in your mind to on the page. What exactly do you plan on arguing about the question? Are you going to agree or disagree with the statement? Are you going to tell them about a particular effect? Who are you going to argue it's affecting, or which group, or how badly or how well? Start with that point. Then you put down your wonderful evidence, and then you simply explain, you link back to the question. This proves my point because it's showing, etc., etc. Remember that the examiner can't read your mind, and you'll get yourself that A star, that grade 9, that high level that you are looking for. So good luck on turning from storytelling dragon into an analytical wizard. And remember the key: point, evidence, explain how your evidence proves your point. Good luck with your exams.